Hey, hello, everybody out there. I'm here. Just want to talk to you all about the update for this upcoming government-owned networks. As you know, I went on a little bit of a rant and talked about this government-owned networks that Cleveland utilities and the mayor and the city council has been trying to push. I told you I went to the meeting in opposition against it, as well as several other people. And of course, our mayor was there and he wanted it and he called himself Papa. So Papa wanted it. Well, we're coming down toward the end of this. Papa got what he wanted. As far as I can tell, that I've been watching the agenda and the minutes for the city council to see when they were going to bring this up for a vote in the city council. I never got no reply, had got back, called them, haven't heard anything back. But lo and behold, all of a sudden, we've got what came out was on Wednesday, we found out that they had approved it. The city council had approved the taxpayers are now on the hook for $100 million. Actually, $72 million and 15% overages and whatever else that's going to happen. So we are now on the hook. As far as I can tell, it looks like that on the 8th, which was Saturday before Easter, Cleveland Utilities gave the paperwork to the city council publicly. Now, I don't know about you, but almost all your major federal offices were closed during that weekend. So this stinks the way it happened and the way that it was done. And I'll just be honest with you, because they said that now they'll say, oh, well, we put it out to the public. Nobody was in opposition to it. Truth be known, it went to the city council from the Cleveland Utilities on a Saturday. Sunday was, of course, was Easter. Monday at 3 o'clock, they voted to pass this bill that, despite when the people stood up and despite everybody else saying that this is not going to work, this government-owned network, guess what? It is now in operating, and Cleveland Utilities, and in conjunction with our mayor and everybody else, voted for this monstrosity. We are now in Cleveland. The citizens of Cleveland are on the hook for $100 million debt. And if once all the statistics are out, they're talking about this. So they're going to spend $100 million to bring EPB fiber optic in here for a government-owned network that they're claiming is going to give you 1 gigabyte download. But the problem with that is AT&T and Spectrum has already come out and said by the time they do that and they get their technology in there, they'll be able to do 10 megabytes or 10 gigabytes, pardon me, per minute. So it's going to be a slower, inadequate system. We're going to be on the hook. 34,000. Now I want you to, if you're listening up, 34,000 of the customers that now belong to Cleveland Utilities, according to their business proposal, was you will not get a rate hike because you won't pay for it, which was a lie, because they came right out and said that this money is going to come out and they're going to put fees in the bill. So for all of you that don't want a government-owned network, once Cleveland Utilities gets it, because they got to get their 30% takeaway, and they probably are not going to get it, but all 34,000 of you now, 34,000 of you are now on the hook for a special project, whatever they're going to label it when they put it in for the fee to pay for this bill. So you just got a tax hike. Well, you're not going to call it a tax hike or a rate hike, but you can't call it a rate hike, although technically that's what it is, because it's going to come out in a fee that you and I and 34,000 other customers that are under Cleveland Utilities are going to pay. Every place this thing has been, the Cleveland Utilities bills have doubled. They will double. And when this does not work and it fails, that means, and most every place these things have been in, they have failed. And that's $100 million that the citizens of Cleveland, Tennessee now. So that means not only that, but the mayor, he called himself Papa, got what he wanted. I don't know how much palm greasing he got to do it, but I'm sad to say that I voted for Kevin Brooks, but now he's officially entered into rhino status, because this is not what Republicans do, put everybody into debt because they want something and everything else like that, and with the city council. So I'm just, me personally, I think this should be the last term that Kevin Brooks ever gets as a mayor. He's now put us in jeopardy of $100 million. I don't know about you. How much does that equate to every person that's in Cleveland, Tennessee, that we're going to be on the bill for? And the way they did it by slipping it in when nobody else knew about it, because when I was at Cleveland Utilities against the board, several people were there that voted it, that spoke out in opposition. The mayor didn't even have the audacity to put it before the vote for the people. This was passed under night with some rhino shenanigans that takes place. This is the stuff that Democrats do, not what Republicans do. I think it's time for a shakeup in the Republican Party because they're becoming too familiar. Not one of our congressmen, state congressmen, not one of our state senators, not one of our federal senators said anything about this, or was it on their radar, or didn't even say anything. So he got what he wanted. He passed it through some shenanigans at night, 3 o'clock in the afternoon on Monday, after it was presented on a Saturday. Why? Because he knew there'd be opposition against it, and he didn't want the opposition. Like I said, this is some crazy junk. And as I talked to one individual, said this government-owned network where you have a private company, Cleveland Utilities, now in cohabitation or cooperation with the government, now makes them both regulator and competitor. And guess what? When the bills ain't going to get paid, there's going to be a rate hike to pay for these. And are they going to go to the city council like they're supposed to? No, the city council, just as crooked as they are, passing this, and they will get their rate hike. So congratulations on the mayor. Congratulations on him exposing himself as a rhino. Congratulations to the city council exposing themselves. And I think this is a time that we, as the American people, the citizens of Cleveland, need to hold them accountable. Call the pastor, not the pastor, but the mayor. Call him. You know, the mayor wouldn't sit down there and do anything to stop Lee University and take away their 501c3 status, because he works for Lee University. His wife does. There's a whole host of stuff. I don't know what's going on. Maybe he's thinking that he needs some type of thing, but there's some crookedness that's going on. And I believe that it will be exposed. The one that was up there in Nashville and other places, they had some crooked shenanigans that were going on with the money. I think you're going to see a lot of crazy stuff. But it's comforting now to know that you officially have a rhino mayor, Kevin Brooks, that wanted something that he pushed through to get at what cost. Let this be his last enlistment. Let this be his last time that he will be the mayor of Cleveland, Tennessee. Let this be his last time. Let this city council know that you will do whatever it takes. See, this happens when you have a corporation. See, the city of Cleveland, Tennessee is a corporation. The mayor is like the CEO. You elected him to run the corporation. His only concern is about the thriving of the corporation. He could care less about the people. It's what can cause the corporation to thrive. It's not going to do nothing good in the business to take place. And the city council that was voted in, their responsibility is to the CEO, the mayor, out of the corporation. And so they need to be known that, just like in every corporation, that when the people come together to vote, let them know that this is their last vote. But, you know, it is sad that it had to happen under circumstances. If it would have been a straight up vote and the people of Cleveland wanted it under a vote, fine. But the upstanding citizens of Cleveland, Tennessee, didn't even get that opportunity. Our rhino mayor might as well change his colors from orange to red. He just now became a Democrat. This is communism that has been done now with it. This is the start of what is going to happen. How much longer before everything starts to come and everything starts to take place? I think that, and you know, Volunteer Electric has got the same thing going. But the way this bill was passed, the way this was accepted, like I said, on the 8th of April, the Saturday before Easter, they brought that thing in. Well, most federal agencies are closed for the Easter weekend. They brought this thing to the city council to be voted on Monday, which was the day after Easter, at 3 o'clock in the afternoon, for this to be passed. And the president, the mayor of the city council, and the city council should be held accountable for this. That's $100 million by the time it's all said and more, probably, by the time it's said and done, that the Cleveland people of Cleveland are going to be on the hook for it. The taxpayers. And don't tell me the taxes are going to go up, because when this ain't going to get paid, they're going to go up. They're going to go up in rate hikes in the utilities. Like I've said, they already said they're going to start putting bills. So congratulations to Cleveland Utilities. You just now doubled the amount of the people's bills for as goes on. It will become double. And we slept while it went. I was trying to find out when it was going to go, but it did not go the way it should have been, because they knew there would have been opposition about it. And our cowardly mayor, Kevin Brooks, did not want the opposition. So congratulations, Papa, Kevin Brooks. You are now officially in the Rhino class. And I think that this is the time that we need to make a stand and let this be his last election. Let this be the last time that he enters into politics, because this is a betrayal, to me, of the highest kind by the Republicans, because I don't think Republicans don't do this. But this is local politics, and anything goes. They knew how to pass this without the people coming up and voicing their opposition against it. So I thought I'd just come on and let you know, and an update. I'm irritated by it, but you know what? Rhino Brooks, he did what he had to do. And I think the citizens of Cleveland need to do what they got to do and hold him accountable. Because when this goes south, we're going to be footing the bill at $100 million. $100 million. Let that sink in. Technically, they say $72 million. Add 15% for overages and everything else. It's going to be over $100 million that we, the citizens of Cleveland, are going to be held accountable for, and didn't even have a voice or a right to vote on it. This was passed secretively. As far as I know, everything that I looked in, as far as reading the minutes from the agenda of the city council, you can go and pull them down and read them. I even pulled down the agenda of the prior week on what was coming up for the next meet, and it's not nowhere on there about bringing this up with the Cleveland Utilities. So this came to pass on, like I said, on Saturday, April the 8th. It's a Saturday, Easter weekend. It went before the city council as public being aware of it, although we don't know. Then Easter came, and Monday at 3 o'clock, they had their city council, and it was passed. So that's just my rant, and I just want you all to know that. And call the mayor, tell him you're disappointed. Call the city council, tell them you're disappointed. Maybe for some odd known reason, this might stop. But the first installment of $8 million will go out to Cleveland Utilities very soon. So, hey, thank you to everybody that voiced their opinion in opposition to this. It's dirty the way it went down, but that's dirty local politics. And especially when it comes from the Republican side, it stings a little bit more to the conservatives. So I think it's time we have a shakeup in the Republican Party and get some of these stout rhinos that have embedded themselves and won't move because they've been there too long now. They're making dumb decisions. But hey, that's my opinion. You all be blessed, and I hope you call the mayor and everybody else and tell them about it. Y'all be blessed. I will talk to y'all later. Thank y'all for listening. Goodbye, y'all.